This is Dr.V.GeethaDhanalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of BCA, Bishop Weber College. Today we are going to see the Unit 2 in C programming. So in that we are going to see the decision making and branching statements and decision making and looping statements. That is, in the C programming, the flow is in a sequential manner. Whenever we are making a decision, according to the decision, the statement may branch. So it can execute code blocks based on the conditions and the control. So for this we are using the conditional statements like if, else, else if and the switch statement. The next one is decision making and looping statement. In this, allows the controlling program based on the conditions using statements like if, else and switch, while looping enables repeating a block of code multiple times using for, while and do while. First we are going to see the if statement. So the if statement is you specify a block of code to be executed whereas the condition is true. So the syntax is if and then the condition. If the condition is true, then the block of the code is executed. For example, if 20 is greater than, this is true, so which prints 20 is greater than 18. Next we are going to see the else statement. So the else statement is used to specify a block of code to be executed when the condition is false. The syntax is if, then condition. If the condition is true, then the true block is executed. Else the false block is executed. So for example, we are initializing the time is equal to 20, and if time is less than 18, it prints good day. Here time is 20 is less than 18 is false, so it skips that block and then it moves on. Here it prints good evening message. Next one is the else if statement. The else if statement is used to specify a new condition if the first condition is false. In the simple if the condition is true, it will execute the block, otherwise it exit. In the else, if the condition is false, it executes the else block. Whereas in the else if the first condition is false, then it goes to the else. Again it has one if statement. Syntax is if condition 1. If the condition 1 is true, then that block is executed. Else if the next condition, if that condition is true, then that block is executed. If that is false, it goes to the else. In that it executes the block of the condition 1 is false as well as the condition 2 is false. So for example, time is equal to 22 and we are checking the condition if time is less than 10. It checks 22 is less than 10. So this is false. So again it moves to else if time less than 20. So again 22 is less than 20. Again this is false. Then it moves on to else good evening message. Next one is one important operator which is called a ternary operator, which is a special operator in C. This we can call this as a shorthand if else operator. This is known as ternary operator because it consists of 3 operands. It can be used to replace multiple lines of code with a single line. So this operator is normally used to reap if else statements. So the syntax of the ternary operator is variable, which is equal to condition, next is question mark, after that the true, and then colon, that is the expression false condition. And we can call this as also question mark colon operator. For example, time is equal to 20 and we are checking time is less than 18. Suppose this is true, then it prints good day, otherwise it prints good evening. 20 is less than 18, which is false, so it prints good evening. Next one is decision making and branching. So instead of writing many if else statement, we can use the switch statement. So the switch statement is one of many code blocks which is to be executed. So switch expression, switch it will get a number. So suppose case X, that means with that code block will be executed and then break. Case Y means next break. Next one is default. So for example, day is equal to 4. Switch day. So case 1, then printf, that is Monday, break. So which will take day is 4. Next one is case 2, that is Tuesday, that is also false. Next it moves to case 3, next it moves to case 4. So day is 4. So which prints Thursday. So in this switch statement we have a keyword called break. So when C reaches a break keyword, it breaks out of the switch block. So which breaks out and which exit from the switch. So this will stop the execution of more code and case testing inside the block. When a match is found and the job is done, it's time for a break. There is no need for more testing. So next we are moving on to decision making and looping. So loops can execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is reached. Loops are because they save time, that reduce errors, and they made code more readable. So in the loop we are having while loop. So the while loop loops through a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. So the syntax is while condition. If the condition is true, the code block to be executed. This while loop is called entry controlled loop because when it enters to the loop, it first checks the condition. If the condition is true, it executes, otherwise it skips. So for example, int I is equal to 0 while I less than 5. So here which checks 0 is less than 5. This is true. So printf I, which prints 0. Next is I plus plus, that is a increment operator. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Again now I is equal to 1. So 1 less than 5, which is true. So it prints 1. And then I plus plus 1 plus 1 is 2. So I is equal to 2 while 2 less than 5, that is true. So again it prints 2, like that prints 2, like that, which executes I less than 5. Okay. Next is a do while loop. This is a variant of the while loop. In this, the loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. So this is called exit controlled loop. So do code block to be executed, next it checks the condition. So first, for example, integer I is equal to 0. So again do printf I. So it prints 0. Next is 0 plus plus. 0 plus 1, which increments. So 0 plus 1, that is 1. Again now it checks while I less than 5. So here 1 less than 5, this is true. So it goes to again the do. Between the while and do while, whereas while is a entry controlled loop and do while is the exit controlled loop. Next one is for loop. When you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code, we can use for loop instead of while loop. So the syntax of for is for expression 1, expression 2, expression 3, and then the code block to be executed. For example, integer I, for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus printf. So first it checks less than 5, that is true, so I plus plus which increments. Like that this loop executes till I less than 5. Okay, so that's all about the decision making and branching and decision making and looping. Thank you.